What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be talking a little bit more about NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So lads, over the next couple of weeks I will be talking a lot more in depth about specific things, because we are finding out little bits and pieces about this game mode and as time is going on. So basically I'm gonna cover this video now because I think that it is one of the most important things for NBA 2K20 MyTEAM, or say 21 MyTEAM. If I've called it 20 MyTEAM at any stage in this video, I apologize. And also because yesterday when I did my breakdown, it was almost like an initial impressions. I kind of skim read through the developer blog before doing my breakdown of it, and I didn't want to go into as much depth as I am going to do here, because otherwise that breakdown would have been like a 2-hour long video. So honestly, there's going to be a lot of videos talking about what way I think my team is going to be, and also basically explaining what we know and what we're yet to find out, and what I believe is going to happen with different situations. So we're going to be talking about things like the exchange in the future. We're going to be talking about how Unlimited is going to affect things, how I think Limited is going to affect the game mode in the market, as well as talking about even things like Original Owner, which is a completely new concept that a lot of people kind of missed from the trailer initially, or the dev blog initially. So anyway, we're going to be talking about, in this video, in my opinion, the most important of all these things, and that is seasons. So what are seasons? So basically, the NBA 2K21 MyTEAM game mode is going to be broke up into different chunks. So there's going to be a bunch of different seasons. So I'm not sure if they're going to name the seasons or just say season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5. Either way though, the game mode is going to be split up into different things. So apparently there's something like this in FIFA. Again, I don't really play FIFA, so I wouldn't know. But, well, I don't play FIFA Ultimate Team. But I know that they have, in things like Warzone and Fortnite, they've split the game up into different seasons, and they add a whole bunch of new different content. I think that seems to be the way that these games are going. I'm guessing they figured out that it's a way of getting players more kind of involved in the game, and the more players they have involved in the game, the more money people will spend. So I do think that it's going to be something that we do see a lot more in future, not only just in 2K, that we see in a lot more other games. So for that reason, I think that we've got a pretty cool concept, not gonna lie. So yeah, they're basically just a bunch of different sections the mode's being split up into. And what do we know so far about these? So what we know is that you are going towards a season objective. So the Steph Curry season objective, as you guys can see on the screen right here, he's going to be the final reward for the first season. So you have to get up a whole bunch of levels, and once you get to level 40, you end up getting a Steph Curry card. You have to earn 150,000 XP. You don't know, we don't know how you earn it, to be completely honest, but you get 39 rewards on the way, which is very, very interesting. You might end up picking up 2 or 3 Hall of Fame badges on the way, which could be kind of interesting, whether you're going to stick the Hall of Fame badges on cards straight away or wait until a little bit later on in the year. But yeah, we're going to have to see the way they distribute badges early on in the game before we know more about that. So that is kind of the overall goals of the season, is to level up to the top reward. And then we do know as well that there are different kind of rewards for every season. So for Unlimited, for the 12 and 0 reward, instead of a monthly 12 and 0 reward, there's going to be a seasonal 12 and 0 reward. So every single season will have a different 12 and 0 reward once you get to the top tier. So basically, the way the game mode for Unlimited is, I'll explain this in more depth in another video, and how I think it's going to affect everything. Basically, it's a road to the playoffs, and once you get to the top seed, you have to go 12 and 0 to get the reward. But that's going to reset every season rather than every month. In MyTEAM Limited, there's going to be almost like a weekend league type thing, and then if you lock in every season if you get all the championship rings, you get the season championship ring reward. And then even things like for exchanges, which are a mixture between SBCs and Madden's lock-ins, you get there's going to be new ones at them each season. As well as that, at the start of every season, there's going to be a new batch of token rewards. I don't know if this means the token rewards are limited, or if you're going to have to, say if the initial ones are always in the game, then everything else is a seasonal token reward. Or even if you have to level up, Emerald to Sapphire to Ruby to Amethyst to like etc. like you have done in previous years. So that'll be kind of interesting. So it's a whole bunch of new content being added into the game. Then there's also like there's going to be opportunities for new modes. They've explained that there's going to be new ways of playing the game or new things to do in every season. So for example, like one season you could get, say, Spotlight Sims. The next season, I think seasons are where they're going to put in a bunch of weird modes. Like I think they might have like a road to the playoffs type 3v3 mode. I think they're going to put in I hope that it's not just a bunch of single player stuff per season, but this has the potential if they are bringing in new modes. I don't think they'll have the disk space, especially for previous gen, like, well, current gen PS4. I don't think they'll have the disk space to put in something like a draft mode. However, if they have that type of disk space, because maybe they've decided, you know what, we're not going to focus on other game modes as much, or they've just going to add something on, I think it could be very, very interesting. They can find a way to, say, add a draft mode into the game for 6 weeks at a time. And then the following season, if, again, as I said, like a road to the playoffs type 3v3 mode. And then the next, they might have a 1v1 mode where you can play against people in 1v1s. So stuff like that would be very, very interesting. We don't know much about it, but there is definitely opportunities for there to be completely new game modes. So now I'm going to really talk about what effect I think it will have and what necessarily it is. And what I personally believe season mode is, I think it's more of a quality of life type improvement. I think that it's just more structure into the game mode. I think that is something that 2K did a good enough job of last year when they were releasing cards. Almost always it was Friday. Whereas if you looked at, I was looking back to 2K17, it was just a bunch of random times they released random things. I think apart from the promo packs every 2 weeks, everything was just random. So I do think that there is going to be an awful lot more structure. There's going to be less like wondering when new things are coming out. It's going to be less, say, wondering when the new token cards are coming out, which we did for months. Wondering if or when there's going to be Spotlight Sims coming out. They just came out on random days last year. So I think there's going to be an awful lot more structure in the game mode. I also think that the goals don't somehow become unachievable. Like, because most of the stuff is going to be based on a season rather than a year-long agenda, there was a lot of things like, I get it that there was a lot of excitement in 2K19, for example, for the 3,000 tokens. However, there was only excitement in like June for that. I think what this season mode does is it gives people stuff to do all year long. And even though there's always stuff to do when there's opals in the game at the end, or 99 overalls, whatever color they end up being, I think that in NBA 2K 19, 18, 17, there has been nothing to do from around October to probably the middle of December. That's the real dead season. If you guys really, like, all you have to do is just look at any YouTuber's views. That is the real dead season, is about October to December. So what I believe that this more so is going to do is make everything short term so that there's always going to be something to do and something to strive for. As well as that, there's going to be, if resetting every single season means you don't have to play major catch up. So for example, if you only get the game on PS5 and you come into the game in, say, let's just say it comes out on the 20th of November, just as a hypothetical date. If you only get the game on the 20th of November and a new season starts today, PS5 comes out and you get the game on launch, suddenly, while you might be behind in terms of the cards you've collected, in terms of like objectives and stuff, you're not way behind. It's not like you're 0 wins and you need 1,000 wins to get anything in TT offline. Like, you can still work your way up. As well as that, you're still on level 0 for the season objectives. You can try work your way up in that. And with Unlimited, I know obviously everyone started off with 0 and 0 last year, which I think was a disaster. But in like Road to the Playoffs, for example, that type of a format, if they did an entire year thing, it becomes a 2K17 problem where some people have just started off the game and others are like 3rd prestige, pink diamond within a month, and it just became hard to get games. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. I think that the season concept, I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't see how 2K can mess it up, because I think Worst case scenario, it just doesn't change anything. I think at a worst, it's just something that we think, you know what, that sounded cool, but it didn't really do anything. I don't see there any way of it being a major negative. I think there's potential for some of the rewards to be almost worthless and just having the attitude of, why would we get this? Why would we even try to get these? But for me, that's not the biggest deal in the world. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world having something that doesn't really get you excited, like that doesn't get you overly excited, as long as it's not a negative. I don't see any situation. I could be wrong. Like, I could be looking back in this in a year's time and be completely wrong. In general, my instincts are normally good with 2K in terms of just the overall mode. Like, a lot of stuff I predicted at the start, at the end, or going to 2K20 ended up being correct. My instincts are normally good, but I have a feeling this is something that we are going to enjoy. And again, I don't see there being any way of it becoming a negative. I can see certain things with seasons, especially if you're on like level 38 or something on the day before it, and you just can't get that last little bit of XP to get to the top level. And like, I can see that definitely being frustrating, but I think that's not necessarily a problem with the mode, unless it becomes like almost unattainable to get those top season rewards, and a lot of the stuff becomes unattainable, which you have to see. But I really don't think it'll be any sort of a negative. I don't think it can be any worse than just chucking in 1,000 wins and giving people the top rewards for domination, TTO, and all of that within a week. It cannot be worse than that. Trust me. So yeah, that is basically it. Not too long a video, but again, this is me spending 10 minutes talking about one game concept, and there's about 15 game concepts that I will make videos on. As you guys can see, this would have been like a 2.5 hour long video if I really went into as much depth about these topics as I wanted to in my breakdown. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. That is a video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
I think you only love me cause I'm poppin'. This a layup, this a rebound, then it's robbing. Tyson with the fade, not the hair, my hands rocking. When I link with ball point, you